when we try to become practicing Muslims, we want to follow the path of the Salaf, and we want to imitate the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, in his Sunnah. And whenever we try to do this, our parents and people in our environments call us different labels like extremists, wahabis, terrorists. How can we deal with this, and how can we advise them?
Well, welcome to the club. When the Prophet ﷺ came with his message, what did his people say? Liar, sorcerer, magician, poet, priest, insane. All of these were labels given to the Prophet ﷺ. Did it stop him from continuing his da'wah? Never. Did it deter him? Did it slow him down? Never. This is our fuel. When people clap to us and say, oh, Sheikh Asim, you are okay, mashallah. When the Jews, the Christians, the Buddhists, the Hindus say, Sheikh Asim is, oh, mashallah, is very intelligent, very good. Mashallah, his words are very nice. I raise flags and I look in the mirror and say, what wrong am I doing? Because Allah stated in the Quran, وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُم. The Jews and the Christians will never be pleased with you until you follow their ways. I remember, I think 7 years ago, Sheikh Haytham al-Haddad came to Amsterdam, and I saw a clip where he was giving a lecture to the Muslims, but it was an open lecture. And then came this woman, kafir woman, insisting to sit with him on the same table, to shake hands with him, and forcing her way on the Muslims. And the Sheikh was very diplomatic. He says, "La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah." He did not look at her. He tried his level best. Now, what did she want? She wanted to break the Muslims. She wanted to break him. So do you think if he shook hands with her, she would be happy and go her way? No. Unless you do exactly what they want, such as unless you take off your Islamic dress. If you're a Muslimah, take off your hijab, your niqab, expose your body. If you're a man, mix with them, drink with them, eat pork, and never mention anything about Islam or Allah or the Quran. They hate Quran. Geert Wilders. They hate anything that has to do with Islam. And what kills them most, the issue of shaking hands. And this kills me, seriously, because they want to force us accept their ways. And I always, I'm rude. I'm an old, arrogant Saudi sheikh. Again, what can you do? Sue me. You can't. People, you will usually say, no, you discriminate women and you look down upon them. Why don't you shake hands with women? Duh. Why would I shake hands with women? Because this is human. You have to treat them like humans. I said, is shaking hands treating them like humans? She says, yes. What about if I want to kiss her on the cheek? Because this is human. She says, no. What about if I like to touch her body in certain areas just to make sure that she's human? This is inappropriate. This is disgusting. She said, in your culture, it's disgusting. Maybe in my culture, it's okay. No. You have to shake hands. This is the least you can do. This is the least I can do in your understanding, not in mine. If I were to tell you, if you want me to shake hands with you, wear a thong and give me a lap dance. This is outrageous. How dare you speak like this? She was doing that. It just came. Why are you offended? This is how we feel when you force yourselves onto us. If I am lactose intolerant and you give me a glass of milk and say, drink it, and I said, sorry, I'm lactose intolerant, what would you do? You would be considerate and say, oh, I'm sorry. No problem. Or would you shove it down my throat? Of course not. You will understand. Why? Because it's harmful for me, medically and physically. Now, if I tell you that shaking hands with the opposite gender is offensive and harmful for me on the day of judgment because it will throw me in hell, why don't you accept this? Because you don't want to accept this. Your issue is not with touching my silky hands and feeling the warmth of my body. Your problem is with my religion. Your problem is with my conviction. And this is why we have to stand our grounds. Family members, relatives, people calling us names, so what? The Prophet was called names, alayhi salam. So everyone has a test. And this is your test in Islam. You could have been tested, and people say, yeah, but this is very difficult, Sheikh. This test is very horrible. I said, how much would you grade it out of 100? They say, oh, Sheikh, it's very difficult. The pressure we're getting, it's like 90% hardship. I said, okay, compare it to other tests. Would you like to have colon cancer or ovarian or breast cancer with the chemotherapy, radiation, and the whole 9 yards? No. Wow. Who would like that? If you were to be tested with that, how much would you grade it? They said, oh, that would be 100%. And what about your test with such people labeling you as wahabi or extremist? Oh, no, that is way less. It's 80%. Your parents are alive? I said, yes, alhamdulillah. What's your rating of losing one of them? Oh, Sheikh, that's 110. I cannot bear the idea of losing my mom or my father. Okay, what about your calamity of being labeled? I said, oh no, that's 70, maybe 65. We can go on and on and on mentioning different tests, only to find that what you're suffering from, what you're facing with the community, with your relatives, with loved ones, your parents accusing you of being extremist, is nothing. Let them bark. Let them say whatever they say. Am I pleasing Allah or not? Yes or no? Yes. Is Allah happy with what I'm doing? Is Allah pleased with what I'm doing? Definitely. Khalas, who cares? And Allah knows best.